2 market goats, you need to be in the holding area, please. All Class 2 market goats, you need to be in the holding area.
Okay.
Well, we got each other and that's all we need. From here on out, it's just you. Me, 2 hometown hogs up against the world that don't stand a chance against this boy and girl. We faced them down, fought bigger fights, and I know they're gonna be alright. Whoa, 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 whoa. We can't forget these are the days. Whoa, 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 don't be afraid. We can't forget these are the days. Well, it feels like we're living paycheck to check. We wake up wondering what might happen next. Yeah, sometimes it feels like we won't make it through. The hard times pass like the good ones do. Baby, wrap your fingers and hold on tight. I'll be right here beside you tonight. Baby, climb up here, watch the city glow. Let's make a wish on the fireworks below. When love comes, we don't forget the feelings of happiness. Whoa, 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 whoa. We can't forget these are the days. Whoa, 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 don't be afraid. We can't forget these are the days.
Exhibitors on the edge of the arena, outside the arena, you may be dismissed. Let's give these kids a round of applause.
Boys, I met a real country girl talking out in the woods. Yeah, I'm rolling.
Our little number in a pickup truck. Daddy, sweet money done jacked it up. Party all night from South Carolina. A bad mama jammer from down in Alabama. She's a raging Cajun lunatic from Brunswick. Juicy Georgia Pete with a thick southern drawl. nothing but country. Oh, so hot country girl did it one time.
A nice class to start the weather show off here, and probably maybe not so many that are absolutely ready to go right now, but I think that's got to figure into your sort. And I'm going to use the one that for me is the furthest along and the most ready today. I think when you consider the fact that this one's the stoutest, he's the widest skeleton, he's the roundest spot, and he's the best in terms of his handling quality, I think it just makes sense to use him. Now, from a build standpoint, I'd like to clean him up there at the base of his shoulder. I'd like to make him a little longer and leveler out of his hip. But I think he's far and away the best one in terms of just being market ready. He's the best handling, he's the stoutest, he's the widest. Just makes sense to use him. Then there gets to be some sort from there, because there's a lot of these things that are probably just not quite ready to go. The one that I think is the most different is the one that I've got here in second. Just crazy long bodied, freaky neck, flat shouldered, really long and level. I like those things about him. I think that one's probably better built to be a 120 pounder than he is a 50 or 60 pounder. That one just got a long way to go to really max out his skeleton. But I think from a design standpoint, he's got some stuff we can build around. But also for one this size, I wish he wasn't so dry to the touch. I don't know if it's that thing's skin and hair or if it's just the way he is, but that thing's just a little dry to the touch to me. The red one really worked his way up in class for me. I guess I kind of missed this one on the initial handle and things like that. Like I said, probably one that's a little more immature like the rest of them. But you step up to the side of that one and really break him down skeletally, and he needs to be towards the top of the class. He's level designed, he's smooth about his shoulder and forerib. I guess for me, just in those top three, he just is the one that's the most devoid, not necessarily devoid, but lacks the muscle that the other two do. I just think we need to stouten that one up a little bit off both ends of his skeleton for me to run up. The one that comes out in four, the young lady does a phenomenal job of getting this one stuck. This goat just to me looks like he's at a severe weight advantage even in the lightest class. He's probably the thinnest in terms of his finish, but I think his build is something that you have to appreciate. He's really long bodied, level design, really gets out and uses feet and legs well. He's just by quite some margin of the top five, the most closed up underneath. I really just like to give that one a little more time on feet to max him out, but I think he can get there, and the young lady does a nice job with her project. The big stout-legged one that I had a little more faith in early is the one that comes out in three. Just hits you as the one that's stout-footed. He's big-legged, kind of matches the same kind of mass down the top side of his skeleton. I guess for me, he just comes in a few more pieces from the side. He's a little lower fronted, he's a little higher and tighter in his spine, rounds out his hip a little bit. Nice first class though, congratulations to all.
I got my clipboard.
Goat exhibitors, this is Class 2 entering the ring. We need Class 3 in the holding area. Placings in Class 1. First place goes to Carson Atwood, Eufaula FFA. Second place goes to Hope Berry, Tahlequah FFA. Third place, Nathan Rowan, Colbert FFA. Fourth place, Jade McPeak, Shakota 4-H. Fifth place, Kaylee Rippey, Eufaula FFA. Sixth place, Brandy Reese, Roland FFA. Seventh place, Lindsay Kilgore, Coweta FFA. Eighth place, Renimsi Newberry, Woodall 4-H. Ninth place, Nathan Rowan, Holbert FFA. And 10th place, Megan Brown, Holbert FFA. Again, this is Class 2 in the ring. All Class 3 market goats, you need to be in the holding area. This will be first call for Class 4. Exhibitors on the outside of the ring, you may be excused. Let's give them a round of applause. Exhibitors, just a reminder, we will be selecting divisions. The first division will be selected out of, after Class 3. We will be selecting 25 preliminary sell order goats. So again, after Class 3 is done, we ask 1 and 2 to fill back in the holding area, and we will be selecting 25 for preliminary sell order.
Classic definitely offers some sort and some differences up here at the top. I think these two surface really easy for me, and I think they're a little bit different in terms of their type and kind. The one that I'm going to use, I'm going to opt to go with the one that I think's just got more shape and handling quality about him today. The red fronted one is just one. I love his stoutness of foot and bone. I think he's presented well. I really like when I get my hands on him how shapely he is out of the backside of his blade. I'd like to maybe freshen him up at his loin, just ever so slightly, just to the edge. I think that thing's so raw and so hard at this stage of the game that he exposes his loin is a little bit immature back there. But I still think that his handling quality is still the sort here. He's one that's really up-fronted. He's really long neck. I just like a lot of things about him. The one that comes out here in second, I think his best attributes are a little harder to pull apart. Love just his freshness of skin and hair. Just get your hands on him. He still gives you that fresh kind of feel up top. I guess for me though, he was a little harder to read structurally. He's one that really wants to fight the chain quite hard, both on the brace and moving. But when I really break him down, I think that one does get a little too tight in the center of his spine, and he's a little easy right out of the backside of his shoulder. If I could give that one a little more stability in his spine, I think that he wins, because I just love his freshness and just his look and youthfulness about him. The one that comes out in three, I think that one's awfully highly presented, just has a great set of running gear underneath him. He's big-footed, he's really sound. I think he just comes a little piecier when we step off to the side of him. He's a little shorter about his head, or his neck, and the way his head attaches. He's one that's a little easier, and his top gets a little steeper out of his hip. Get your hands on him, and I think of the top three, he's a distant third in terms of just freshness and firmness down the top side of his skeleton. The one that comes out in four, I like the extra length and extension that he has up to the front third of his skeleton. I think he's one that of the top four is probably the narrowest. That when you step right in behind him, he just wants to flatten up, get narrower there from hooks to pins, and flatten down in his foundation. I'd like to pick that one up in his tail set just a little bit for me. The red-legged one that comes in three, love the side view shape that he offers from behind. I think that one's got some terminal traits that we can build around. I think for me, his biggest gripe for me is in terms of his skeleton. Got a little more shoulder, gets a little higher and tighter in the center of his spine. Kind of wants to plane and flatten out of his hip there just a bit. I think a real nice class though. Congratulations.
Market Goat exhibitors, this is class 3 entering the ring. We need 1 and 2 back in the holding area for selection of division and preliminary sell order. Placings in class 2, first place goes to Jade McPeak, Shakota 4-H. Second place goes to Tinley Moore, Fort Gibson 4-H. Third place, Carly Dismukes, Shakota 4-H. Fourth place, Cash Kreiner, Porter 4-H. Fifth place, Avery Knight, Marietta 4-H. Sixth place, Kaylee Boydston, Otaha FFA. Seventh place, McKenna Blair, Wagner FFA. Eighth place, Morgan Reese, Roland FFA. Ninth place, Caden Hurd, Coweta FFA. In 10th place, Kirsten Weedle, Otaha 4-H. Again, this is class 3 in the ring. We need all 1 and 2 back in the holding area for selection of division and preliminary sell order. exhibitors on the outside of the ring, you may be excused. Let's give these a round of applause.
guess for me, and most of you have been here to watch me judge throughout the day, I guess for me, when I get down to tough decisions, I just like to see them move. When I really can't make up my mind, I like to see them out in their kind of natural state. I think some of these are getting shown a little different, maybe some better than others, but I think what it really tells the tale is when we set them into motion, and that's where the one that I use, I think, kind of sets the tone. He's the one that's got the most extension, he's the most up front, and he really reaches out and grabs his stride. Despite being just a hair steeper out of his hip, I don't think that's a huge thing, but I still think that even though he's a little steeper, it's still nice that he's got some bend and flex to his hind leg and reaches out and grabs his stride. I think skeletally, he just makes the most sense to use. Then you get your hands on him. I think he's one that's still creased up and grooved up down the top side of his skeleton. Now from there, I think we're moving the one that's really stout down low. He's bold in terms of his center body. Just kind of hits you as the stout power within this trio up here. For me, I think he's probably a little softer and plainer to the touch. Big over his rack, but you work back to his loin. He wants to plane out and round a little the edge of his loin. I think from a build standpoint, he's one that's probably a little lower tying in his neck, shoulder attachment. Just a little plainer there through his underline. The one that comes out in 4, he's kind of a striking one when you step off to the side of him. He's really neat necked, really sharp fronted, tall up there, out of the top side of his shoulder. And while I like the way that he handles and the amount of freshness that he offers, it's when I step on either side of him that within his top 3, he exposes himself as the one that's the most closed up right there through the base of his chest, studying the top side of his pin set. I think that thing, when he's big down low, he kind of wants to wedge in his pins just a bit. The one that comes out in 4 is the one that you'd like to see on the rail. I think this thing is absolutely shapely. That thing is hard to the touch. Not sure I've touched one with that kind of firmness up top. Really love his length and extension. There's probably just not enough chewing when it comes down to it. He's got the shape, got the lean value that you're after. Just probably doesn't have the mass to match the ones up high. That's the opposite problem for the one that comes out in 5. This guy's wide, he's big, bold centered, he's big in his pin set, really thick when you step right in behind him. He just kind of hits you as the compacted conventional one that's too deep right there through his midsection. Couple that with the fact that he's too long on his rear passer, and it's just not a good combination of things for me. I think a real nice class, though. Congratulations to all of you.
Exhibitors in class 1 and 2, if you are in the top 10, highly recommended you're in the holding area right now. If you are in the top 10 in class 1 and 2, you need to be in the holding area. coming down here? Jana? Okay. You're doing it? Oh, okay. Yep.
Oh, we get out here in this lightweight drive, and I'll be the first to admit it. It kind of looks like a used car lot out here. There's just one of everything, of every kind, of every color, of just kind of everything you want to pick through. And that's, here again, I talked about it at the Doe Show. I'll never promise to make cookie cutter images, but I'll promise to use the ones that I think are the best within each particular class. I think for me out here, I'll just kind of briefly hit on these things. The one out of the first class, he was just the one that was the furthest along, the most market ready. He's one that we get him out here in comparison to the other ones. He's still extremely stout in structure. He's really still holds his own in terms of skeletal width and body. I like his touch and tone up top. Now from a build standpoint, he may not be perfect. I'd like to clean him up at the base of his chest and shoulder. I'd like to level him up and lengthen him up out of his hip just a bit. But I still think a nice practical kind of goat that's dang sure in contention out here. The second in that class was kind of the outlier in terms of his skeletal build, so much length and extension. He's so tall fronted, maybe a little drier to the touch, maybe not as far along as the rest of them in terms of his maturity, but a nice goat nonetheless. The one out of the middle class, I thought a tough pair of them there. I opted to use the one that I think's got more shape and expression down the top side of the skeleton. One for me that I think just has a little more wow. He's a little better in the set to his hind leg than perhaps the one that's right behind him. The one that comes in second, really fresh, just in terms of his touch, in terms of his presentation. Maybe not as much, like I said, maybe not as much wow factor in terms of his build. Maybe like to soften him up in the way he uses his hock just a little bit, but a dang nice goat nonetheless. The one out of the heaviest class here, I think was one that really we had to break him down and get him in motion to really appreciate the things that one does well. When we stick him here, he's one that wants to get a little easier in his top line and maybe doesn't look as neat out of his hip. But we put that one in motion and let him do it on his own, and I think he kind of comes together in terms of his skeleton. Maybe not as big time in terms of his handle as maybe the other two that are ahead of him, but one that's got a shot out here, no doubt. The stouter legged one that comes out here in second, really like that one down low, just the practicality he offers through his center, but he's a little plainer, maybe a little rounder back in his loin. I think it makes an awfully tough sort here, and it just kind of comes down to some personal preference things for me. I'm going to go out and give him one more look. I'll grab you a champion reserve, but congratulations to all of you. Let's give him a round of applause.
Division 1 champion comes out of Class 2, Jade McPeach, Chicago 4-H. Second in division, your reserve champion comes out of Class 2 as well, Kinley Moore for Gibson 4-H. Your third in preliminary sale order will be out of Class 1, Carson Atwood. Fourth in preliminary sale order will be Ryan Murphy out of Class 3. Fifth in preliminary sale order will be out of Class 2, Class 2, Carly Dispute. Sixth will be out of Class 3, Briley Gregg. 7th will be out of Class 1, Hope Berry. 8th and preliminary sale order will be out of Class 2, Cash Briner. 9th will also be out of Class 2, Avery Knight. 10th will be out of Class 3, Clayton Wallace. 11th preliminary will be Shayla Dismukes out of Class 3. 12th and preliminary seller will be out of Class 1, Nathan Rowan. 13th will be Haley Boydston out of Class 2. 14th will be Kaylee Rippey out of Class 1. 15th and preliminary seller will be McKenna Blair out of Class 2. 16th will be Brandy Reese out of Class 1. 17th will be out of Class 2, Morgan Reese. 18th will be out of Class 3, Elizabeth Haggard. 19th will be Lainey Forrest out of Class 3. 20th and preliminary seller will be Lindsay Kilgore out of Class 1. We'll be selecting 5 more preliminary seller. '21st and preliminary seller will be Redency Newberry out of Class 1. 22nd will be Peyton Hurd out of Class 2. 23rd will be Emmy Foreman out of Class 3.
25th.
24th will be Kirsten Weedle out of Class 2.
Hey, we got a nice jet to go over here. Can you come back on something? I'm good right now.
25th will be Megan Brown out of Class 1. That concludes Division 1 sale order.
Hey, Kim, go ahead and call Class 5. We already got 4 lined up. Go ahead and call Class 5. We got 4 lined up ready to go.
Class 4 is fixing to come into the ring. Go to exhibitors. We need all Class 5 to be.
There is truly no place like home. Right here in Eastern Oklahoma, Bravado Wireless provides the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month. We believe in strong, connected communities. That's why we live stream community events like local football games. You may not know us by name, but we'll be at the same festivals and cheering for our kids on the same sidelines. Because we live where you live. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
At Bravado Wireless, we don't believe in wasting your time or ours. Our mission is to serve you with honesty and integrity. That's why we offer upfront competitive pricing with no hidden fees in our plans. For $40 a month, you get unlimited talk, text, and data with nationwide coverage. No data caps and no restrictions. No matter if it's your first, second, or third line, you only pay $40 per month per line. All of that with coverage on America's best network. We're your local service provider. Come get to know us. Go bold, go Bravado.
My love, I can give you the world.
Oh, darling, but my heart most desires unlimited wireless home internet.
Oh, dear.
And a new router for just $99.
You ask too much. There's only one who can give you that.
Bravado.
Switch to Bravado's unlimited home internet plan for $59.99 a month and get a new router for just $99 too. See store for details. Find locations at bravadowireless.com/boldmove.
I switched today.
Oh, darling, so bold.
Bravado Wireless. Experience the power of connection.
You are called to be bold. You have a right to the best wireless service, high-speed internet, and customer service at a price you can feel good about. At Bravado Wireless, we know this, and that's why we put you and your community first. We are owned and operated right here in Eastern Oklahoma. We live where you live. We proudly connect you to your family, friends, and business partners wherever they are. Dallas, Seattle, Taipei, Toronto, and anywhere else in the world. We are Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
Stick around because we're cooking wild.
We were there when your grandparents made their first telephone call. We were there when your parents were able to choose what to watch on cable. And now, we are here for you, providing high-speed internet service to your family. There is one thing we know for sure. No matter what happens next, Cross is here to keep you connected. Cross, serving families like yours, today and tomorrow.
Big wireless companies keep getting bigger and bigger, but their coverage where you live is still small. At Bravado Wireless, we provide the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month, right here in Eastern Oklahoma. You deserve to connect fast to your family, friends, and colleagues, wherever they are, with no interruptions and no excuses. Don't buy into big, go bold, go Bravado. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
Exhibitors on the outside of the ring, you are excused. Please give these a round of applause. This will be first call for Class 6. First call for Class 6. And upon completion of that class, we will be selecting Division Champion and Reserve along with 25 preliminary sale order goats again. So that'll be Class 4 through 6 will be our Division 2.
lots of differences to talk yourself through. I think for me, the one that just never really got out of contention was the one that wins. I think from the minute that one kind of hit the ring, he just got the build that I'm after. Is he perfect out of his hip? No, I'd like to pick him up at his tailhead just a bit, but I think from there forward, he pretty much wins the class. He's one that's just hits the ring with so much presence. He's so up-headed, he's great neck, he's flat-shouldered, but then at the same time, he's relaxed the angle of his shoulder and his knee. And like I said, even though he's a little shorter and steeper out of his hip, I still think he reaches out and grabs his stride pretty well. I think you get your hands on this, and while I wouldn't call him the boldest body winning class, I still think he's more than adequate in terms of his rib design. And he touches with plenty of tone up top. I just think he's the one to beat. It starts to get a little closer after that because each of these things start to fall apart at different times. I think for me, the one that follows him most closely is the one I've got in second here. Just like him in terms of his stoutness of foot and bone, I really think he's the one that's the most robust right there through the center of his body. He's bold-chested, he's big. He probably just doesn't have the build to last like the one ahead of him. This one wants to run a little bit downhill. He's got a little more shoulder and chest, but one that I think certainly deserves to be up here towards the top of the class. The real problem for me is the one in third because sometimes I think I love this one. I think when we get him on the move, I think I like a lot of things about him. Then when we start to park that thing, I think his skeleton starts to come apart. Usually it's the other way around. I think that one just reveals himself as a little easy top and a little round out of his hip. But I think one for me, that when you really study him, he's neat-chested. He's way up high in terms of his neck-shoulder relationship. Like I said, when we get this one stuck, he just starts to kind of fall apart for me. The white one that comes out in 4, I had pretty high hopes for this when he first hit the ring. I just love his stoutness of foot and bone, love his hip and hind leg shape. I think that one's probably got the most appropriate bend and set to his hind leg. And it's especially cool when you've got one that's that big-footed that can move like that. I guess for me, when I start to really analyze him piece by piece, of the top 4, he's one when you step in behind him is the plainest of his pin set and the flattest in the outer part of his leg. I touch him up top and disappointingly he reveals himself the same. Probably just not enough shape to compete in this lineup, but one that I like a lot of things about. The one that comes out in 4 shape is not his problem. That thing is extra hard up top. Probably in terms of a carcass scenario, he's the cutability winning class. He's ultra lean, ultra hard. For me, he just wedges the wrong way. He's a little too long in the relationship from the top side of his shoulder to the base of his chest, especially in correlation with that as he runs kind of uphill back to his flank, a little steeper out of his hip. Nice class to go to the short, though. Congratulations.
This will be Class 5 entering the ring. Class 6, you need to be in the holding area, please. Placings in Class 4. First place goes to Megan Greathouse, Fort Gibson FFA. Second place goes to Avery White, Fort Gibson 4-H. Third place goes to Isabella Odell, Fort Gibson FFA. Fourth place goes to Landon Clausen, Adair County 4-H. Fifth place, Avery Knight, Marietta 4-H. Sixth place, Caden Quarterman, Muldrow FFA. Seventh place, Avery Ritchie, Bayonne FFA. Eighth place, Madison Walter, Muldrow FFA. Ninth place, Kaylee Boydston, Oklahoma FFA. And 10th place goes to McKenna Blair, Wagner FFA. Again, Class 5's in the ring. Class 6, you need to be in the holding area. Upon the selection of Class 6, we will do another division. We will be selecting 25 for preliminary sell-over.
I'll get them.
All right, Kim.
Exhibitors on the outside of the ring, you may be excused. Let's give these a round of applause.
this is a dang good pair up here at the top, and it's really gets to start to split the hairs and comes down to some minute personal preferences. For me, I think that the kind of tan neckline that I'm going to use is one that's just a notch more genuine everywhere that you study him. I think whether it's from when he's coming right at you or going directly away from you, I think he just reads with more genuine width from the top side of his skeleton through his knee and hock and then at his foundation. I think there's just way less deviation in any of those angles as to how his skeletal width reads. I think when you step off right here, I think he's one that just has a notch more genuine girth right there through his heart. I think he's bolder in his center body. I think when you touch him up high, I think he's got the most mass and dimension down his top, especially as you work back to his loin and then step in behind him. Now the alternative is the red capon that comes out in second offers a little more extension. I think he's a little more ideal in terms of his bottom line, just his natural fill and flank today. I think when you get your hands on that one, he's absolutely massive right out of the backside of the shoulder. When I start to work back, I think he actually narrows a little bit back at his loin, gets a little plainer to his edge. And then when I step directly behind that one, I think he just planes to the outside of his leg and wants to hit a little narrower down low than he is up high. I think that's an awfully good pair. We just have to split hairs there, and I think that this is still a really, really good one. The one that comes out in third is the one that I kind of missed initially. I told the young man that this one was just giving him an absolute fit today, and he agreed. But when you break this one down, you have to love his stoutness of skeleton, his boldness of body, how thick-ended he is. When you really get him out in this lineup, he's probably the one that's a little plainer, probably because he's got a little more on him today than most, but one that you still have to appreciate for the parts and pieces that he offers in this lineup. The one that comes out in 4, if we could make them all handle like that one, I think we'd be in dang good shape, because that one handles like an absolute dream. Glass for hide, bold rack, huge loin. I mean, I would handle this one all day. I love that thing up high. His problems just come from a build standpoint for me. He gets a little easy top, he's a little forward in his shoulder, then it's his hip and hind leg that just gets me. When you set that one into motion, he just really drops his pins and really gets it overextended in his hock. But love his handle, love how shallow bodied he is and how proportional his bottom line is. It's just the skeleton that I've got a lot of work up today. The one that comes out in 5, I think just kind of reads really practical. Doesn't wow you anywhere, but doesn't really have a lot of holes in him. I think when we get him in motion, he kind of runs downhill just a bit, exposes himself as the plain one of the top 5, but one that still has some merit and needs to be up here towards the top of this class. Real good 7. Congratulations, fellas.
Class 6, fixing to enter the ring. Again, we will do Division 2 cell order upon the completion of Class 6. Results in Class 5. First place goes to Megan Greathouse, Fort Gibson FFA. Second place goes to Tristan Moore, Fort Gibson 4H. Third place, Reagan Greathouse, Fort Gibson 4H. Fourth place, Caitlin Wilson, Kenna FFA. Fifth place, Krista Moore, Fort Gibson 4H. Sixth place, Austin Matthews, Kenna 4H. Seventh place, Isabella Odell, Fort Gibson FFA. Eighth place, Madison Gacious, Shakota FFA. Ninth place, Ryan Long, Haskell FFA. In 10th place, Troy Moore, Fort Gibson FFA. Again, exhibitors, this is Class 6 entering the ring. I need Class 4 and 5 to be in the holding area for selection of preliminary cell order. And the division winners and the preliminary cell order exhibitors that were picked, we do ask you to have your lanyard on when you come back in for cell order upon the completion of Grand Drive. You do need to have that lanyard on when you come in for cell order upon the completion of Grand Drive.
You're fine. These are all there too.
Okay.
Exhibitors on the outside of the ring, you may be excused. Let's give these a round of applause. Exhibitors in the barn, we're needing Class 4 and Class 5, top 10 to be in the holding area, please. All Class 4 and Class 5, top 10 goats, you need to be in the holding area.
This class provides some challenge. I think there's kind of a smorgasbord of things to do here. The thing that I absolutely cannot deny is the handling quality of this one that wins. This thing is unreal up top. I mean, that thing starts huge out of the backside of his shoulder, and he's got a two-hander kind of loin back there. That thing is gigantic back. He's fresh. Really just like the touch and tone that this thing offers down the top side of the skeleton. Then from there, I think he's one that's really stout in terms of his foot and bone work. And it's just not just because he's the fit one of the top two. I still think that one's got more true substance of foot and bone down low. From there up, I think he's bolder right there in terms of his center body. Is he the best out of his hip? Probably not. I'd like to level him up in that regard just a bit, maybe free him up a hair on the move. But like I said, that one's handling quality is just undeniably the best. And that was really hard for me to get around, and I'm usually just the structure fiend. The one that comes out in second, I'll call him the better built one out of his hip and hind leg. I think he reaches and grabs his stride a little better off his rear skeleton. We're going to talk on the skeleton though. This one does want to get a little forward in his knee up front. I think for me, this one is proportional down the top side of his skeleton. Really love how he holds his top line. When we talk about true proportionality, though, and relate that, this top side balance to the underside of his rib cage, I think this one's probably carrying a much more natural feel and flank for me today. The fact that he's a little plainer to the outside of his leg is only accentuated by the extra belly and middle that one's carrying today. But I still think he's staying good. The one that comes out in three just kind of ends up here. I think he's, in terms of practicality, he just kind of hits you as an easy feeder that just has some stoutness of bone. He's wide and square at his chest and bold at his center body. When you get your hands on that one, it kind of looks like he does from the outside from this angle. I just hit you his little plane. He's a little piece here in his top line. Touch is kind of the same, just not nearly as smooth in all his transitions, a little soft to the touch. The one that comes out in 4, I'd say, is the closest to rivaling the class winner from a handling quality standpoint, because this thing is Mongo backed as well. But I think for me, he probably has the same problems as the class winner does, just in terms of his hip and hind leg shape. And this one just doesn't come with near as much stoutness of foot and bone at the surface. Kind of rolls in the 4th here today. The one that comes out in 5, real wide, real stout. Probably the squarest pin, biggest engine that we've got in the class. Love the amount of shape he possesses right on the backside of his shoulder. As we work back from a handling quality standpoint, he wants to fade there to the edge of his line and get a little lower tines. He's one that's a little more compact and conventional in his overall fit. Real nice class to sort, though. Congratulations to all of you.
Placings in Class 6. First place goes to Avery White, Fort Gibson 4-H. Second place, Megan Greathouse, Fort Gibson FFA. Third place, Chloe Silka, Pegs 4-H. Fourth place, Anna Hardy, Fort Gibson FFA. Fifth place, Nathan Rowan, Holbert FFA. Sixth place, Cody Townsend, Fort Gibson FFA. Seventh place, Kylie Holiday, Wagner 4-H. Eighth place, Riley Townsend, Fort Gibson 4-H. Ninth place, Nevaeh Vaughn, Westville 4-H. And 10th place, Cody Townsend, Fort Gibson FFA. We'll now be selecting Division 2 Champion and Reserve with 25 preliminary sale order. This will be first call for Class 7.
Class 4? Class 5?
The class is starting to get significantly deeper when we get out here in this middleweight drive. I think that the championship lineup here is certainly indicative of that. I think all 3 of these on the front line have an adequate shot to win here. I think I'll just kind of describe what I see to you. The one out of the first class, I think he just, from his hip forward, is one that's put together extremely nice. I think one that's really proportional in his lines there, neat-chested, really high-headed, hit the ring with tons and tons of presence. He's probably not the best in terms of his hip angle. Maybe like to just level him up there just a hair and give him a little more flair to the outer part of his leg. But one that I still think, from a build standpoint, you have to appreciate. The one that is in second there, probably a little stouter version, one that's really practical, really bold, and cracked open and wide everywhere you want to view him. Probably from a build standpoint, runs downhill just a little bit. Maybe just like to pick that guy up, elevate him up in the front third of his body, and maybe clean him up underneath. The middle class was extremely tough, and I like this pair a whole bunch when we got him in class. I think the one that wins for me, he was just the one that was more genuine in his basic build. He was wider from the top side of his shoulder to his foundation and read the same in his hip to hock to ground. One that covers the ring with tons and tons of great stride and presence, and has the muscle and stoutness to match. The one that comes out in second, I thought, was one that was really huge out of the backside of his shoulder, perhaps faded a bit to his loin and narrowed up as we stepped right in behind him, but one that held his own in that class and gave the class winner a sure enough run for his money. We just talked this heaviest class here. The one that wins is just absolutely huge back there. Every time I grab that thing, I got to do a double take and use both hands for sure. That thing is huge back. Love his touch and tone. Love the stoutness of skeleton that he offers down low. Is he the picture of structural integrity that I like? Yeah, maybe not. I'd probably like to change him in his hip and hind leg and the way that he operates around the ring. But I think that one's sure and sound enough, and has the back shape to match. The one that was in second, probably the sounder option, but maybe just a little plainer in his outer part of his leg and his underline. It makes the decision pretty tough. I think there's 2 or 3 of them out here that are big time in contention. The way I see them, the way that I like things, and the way that I try to raise them, there's probably one that makes the most sense for me to use and just kind of checks the boxes that I try to do in my program. I go grab you a champ. I'll bring the second in. We'll try to pick for reserve. But a great set for all of you. Congratulations.
Division 2 champion comes out of Class 5, Megan Greathouse. Reserve division comes out of Class 6, Avery White. Third implementary seller will be Megan Greathouse, first place out of Class 4. 6th will be out of Class 6, Chloe Silka. Seventh will be out of Class 5, Caitlin Wilson. Eighth will be out of Class 6, Anna Hardy. Ninth will come out of Class 6, Nathan Rowan. Tenth out of Class 5, Austin Matthews. Tenth in preliminary seller will be Austin Matthews. 11th is Isabella Odell out of Class 4. Is Landon Clausen out of Class 4. Will be Madison Gacious out of Class 5. Fourteenth, Cody Townsend out of Class 6. Fifteenth, Kylie Holiday out of Class 6. 16th, Ryan Long out of Class 5. Seventeenth will be Troy Moore out of Class 5. 18th is Riley Townsend out of Class 6. 19th is Nevaeh Vaughn out of Class 6. 20th will be Avery Knight. 21st, Caden Quarterman. 22nd, Avery Ritchie. 23rd, Madison Walter. And the 25th in the preliminary sell order, 24th will be Kaylee Boydston. And the 25th goat preliminary sell order will be McKenna Blair. Gina, are you good? Gina, can we let him go? Gina, can we let him go? Okay.
At Bravado Wireless, we don't believe in wasting your time or ours. Our mission is to serve you with honesty and integrity. That's why we offer upfront competitive pricing with no hidden fees in our plans. For $40 a month, you get unlimited talk, text, and data with nationwide coverage. No data caps and no restrictions. No matter if it's your first, second, or third line, you only pay $40 per month per line. All of that with coverage on America's best network. We're your local service provider. Come get to know us. Go bold, go Bravado.
My love, I can give you the world.
Oh, darling, but my heart most desires unlimited wireless home internet.
Oh, dear.
And a new router for just $99.
You ask too much. There's only one who can give you that.
Bravado.
Switch to Bravado's unlimited home internet plan for $59.99 a month and get a new router for just $99 too. See store for details. Find locations at bravadowireless.com/boldmove.
I switched today.
Oh, darling, so bold.
Bravado Wireless. Experience the power of connection.
Stick around because we're cooking wild.
the girls on the outside of the ring, you are excused. Let's give these a round of applause. This will be Class 7 in the ring showing. Class 8, you need to be in the holding area, and this will be the first call for Class 1.
This class, especially this top pair, poses probably a few more challenges for me because the read that you get from the outside maybe doesn't necessarily match what things look like once you get into them. I think for me, the one I'm going to use to win, I'll just kind of deem that one the most fault-free. I think for me, from a skeletal standpoint, he's one that's built with some extra skeletal extension. I think he's taller neck. I think he's flatter shouldered, but still opens up into a desirable rib cage. You step right in behind him. I don't necessarily think he's the biggest pinion or the biggest ended one that we've got in this particular lineup, but one that I think is certainly adequate in that regard. I think when it starts to split hairs, like I said, I think it's his build up front, and then when I get my hands on him that he seals the win. I think, although it didn't appear that way from the outside, and just study him in terms of true rib shape, I think the other one might have more. But this one is way square out of the backside of his shoulder and way fresher and square and flatter back to the edge of his loin. Now, not to take away from the spot factor, because I think that thing's got some pieces to build around. He's the stouter footed option. He's bigger in terms of his pin set. He's got more shape when you step right in behind him. But like I said, for me, I think that one may be just a hair rougher shoulder. He's one when you get your hands on him, like I said. Right out of the backside of his blade, I was real disappointed, considering the amount of rib shape that one's got on him, that he just didn't have any more rack than that. Then we work back to his loin edge. I just like to freshen him up just a tick. The one that comes out in 3, the black-headed one, I like the extra stoutness of foot and bone that he offers. I love that one's loin shape. That one's wide and square from his 13th back. Ahead of that, he's probably a little sharper over his rack, maybe not nearly as dimensional in the upper side of his forearm. Then we study him out of his hip. I think that one just gets a little too steep for me. The one that comes out in 4, kind of the practical one there. Just one that's nice and wide and square. Has a good center body. I think when we set him into motion, though, he kind of wants to come apart. Wants to run downhill a little more, maybe gets a little lower tying in his neck, a little rougher in the bottom side of his shoulder, but one that I still think offers just a nice practical look. The Capron that comes out in 5, real wide-chested, stout-legged one. Probably for me, that one just kind of hits me with too much middle. He just kind of wedges the wrong way. He's a little deeper up front than he is from behind. We'll get our hands on him while he's big out of his blade. In terms of his rack shape, you work back to his loin. He's just way too rough in the way that he ties into his hip. Probably wants to get a little longer past him as well. The wide-eared one that comes out next, I think I kind of worked this one up in class. For me, I probably just didn't think this one had enough to him when he came in, and he probably doesn't when it's all said and done, but you have to appreciate the amount of shape and dimension and touch that he has up top. Probably, like I said, just not quite wide enough, not quite powerful enough in this line. Nice class of him. Congratulations.
This will be Class 8 entering the ring. Again, we need all Class 9 goats to be in the holding area. Placings in Class 7. First place, Riley Owen, Morris FFA. Second place, Avery White, Fort Gibson 4-H. Third place, Anna Hardy, Fort Gibson FFA. Fourth place, Austin Matthews, Kenna 4-H. Fifth place, Caitlin Wilson, Kenna FFA. Sixth place, Wade Moore, Fort Gibson FFA. Seventh place, Reagan Greathouse, Fort Gibson 4-H. Eighth place, Amanda Seidlet, Fort Gibson FFA. Ninth place, Alex Parker, Eufaula FFA. And 10th place, Elizabeth Haggard, Keys 4-H.
Good to see you doing something.
exhibitors on the outside of the ring. Let's give them a round of applause. I also want to give a shout out to Madison McKinney exiting the ring. It's her birthday again. Let's give her a round of applause.
real good class to sort through, and a lot of fun and a lot of differences. I think the one that just hits me the hardest, probably from start to finish, is the young lady's weather that I've got out front. I think skeletally he's built the way that he needs to be. I think he reaches out and grabs his stride. He's relaxed in his shoulder and knee, flat enough in terms of his levelness from hooks to pins, and appropriate in his shape to his hind leg. I think probably where he seals the win is that soundness in combination with unmatched handling quality that just kind of makes him a logical place to begin. You study him up top and get your hands on him. I think he's the one that's the most massive and has the most genuine upstanding rack shape. You work from there back. I think he's easily the widest and flattest and squarest there to the edge of his loin. The one that comes out in second, I think it starts to get close here. This one's probably the class leader in terms of just genuine skeletal width. I think he's the widest coming at you and going away. I think he reads the same right through the center of his skeleton. I think he's extremely bold in that regard. I think of probably the top three, I think he's probably the plainest to the touch. I like his mass and dimension up high, but probably just need to have a little more shape there. And I probably don't like the fact that the frailer footed one here is just a little longer in terms of his rear pasture. The one that I really worked up in class and had to really break down and study to really appreciate is the one that comes out in third. When this young lady gets this one stuck, I think that this one makes the case to win the class. He's so neat about his neck. He's extremely long-bodied, which I'm usually not a huge length of body guy. I really find to be irrelevant, but it's so unique to me that that one can be so long-bodied, but still hold himself together and be proportional in his bottom line. I think that one props up and looks the part from the side. I think probably when we set him into motion, he probably exposes himself maybe a little too tucked up in his flank. Might like to soften him up there just a little bit. But then the most concerning part is when we get our hands on him. I'd say that was probably the narrowest down his top side of the top three. Plays out the most back in his loin, but one that I think it could be lots of fun to feed. The one that comes out in three, one for me that here again, another one I kind of worked up in class, didn't initially grab that one on the walk. Probably because he's just a little easy top line in his top line and probably a little too saggy in his belly for me today. But I think when you start to study him, he's one that's still wide, he's still square, he's got some practicality. Just probably not built the way I like him from the side today. Kind of the same for the one and four. I probably like that one's handle as well as anything. Touches with lots of tone up top. He's big and square. He's just a little frail to match that added mass. He probably strikes me as one that's a little shorter, a little lower to the ground just in terms of what his underline is, but a nice one. Real good classic in the sort. Congratulations to all of them.
I guess they didn't move them all out. So we'll have to take the skid steer over there and let's move them.
We were there when your grandparents made their first telephone call. We were there when your parents were able to choose what to watch on cable. And now, we're here for you, providing high-speed internet service to your family. There is one thing we know for sure. No matter what happens next, Cross is here to keep you connected. Cross, serving families like yours, today and tomorrow.
Ain't no such thing. I think, did the Bunch kid come in? Class 9.
Preston Bunch, Class 9. Your class is in the ring. Preston Bunch, Wagner County 4-H. Your class is in the ring. Placings in Class 8. First place goes to Anna Hardy, Fort Gibson FFA. Second place goes to Cooper Harmon, Coweta 4-H. Third place, Alana Gonzalez, Porter FFA. Fourth place, Chloe Silka, Pegs 4-H. Fifth place, Rhett Butler, Wagner County 4-H. Sixth place, Landon Clausen, Adair County 4-H. Seventh place, Carson Atwood, Eufaula FFA. Eighth place, Colton Fort, Tahlequah FFA. Ninth place, Reagan Fulk, Wagner FFA. And 10th place, Colton Fort, Tahlequah FFA. This is Class 9 in the ring. We need all Class 7 to be back in the holding area to go in for division and preliminary selling. Also a reminder, division exhibitors that were picked in Division 1 and 2 preliminary sell order, please make sure you have your lanyards on when you come back in after grand drive to be picked for final sell order.
We ran out the show here in this heaviest weight class, and I think one for me that probably just puts the most positives together. We start to battle some things in terms of maturity in these weathers, and I think this one does the best job of staying youthful in terms of his skeleton and more importantly his handle. I think from a build standpoint, he's the one that's the most ideal in the angle of his shoulder and knee. He gets around and grabs out of his rear skeleton, probably the best of anything in here. Then you get your hands on him. I still think he offers some fresh shape down the top side of his skeleton. Maybe like trim him up in his underline just a little bit in terms of the natural fill standpoint today, but one that I think still wins pretty easily for me. The decision between second and third starts to get a little tougher because I can break these things down structurally and find some flaw in both of them. Sticking with the theme of youthfulness, I think it just makes sense to use this wide-eared one. He's significantly more youthful in terms of his head shape, his shoulder shape, and his underline. He stays more youthful in his rib, and accordingly, when you get your hands on him, you read it the same. Just touches with a little more tone up top. Now, from a skeletal standpoint, I'd like to stout that one up to the ground. I'd like to give him way more stability in terms of the way he operates out of his hock from behind. I just want to kind of throw that thing around and get a little long in his past me. Probably runs downhill just a bit. Initially, I just kind of deemed this one this one in third, the big powerhouse goat, one that's really wide, he's really thick. But when you really step off and start to analyze, he's probably just a little overcooked to me. He's the most mature about his head. He's starting to expose some chine and some shoulder, kind of just matches his deeper bottom line there for me. The one that comes out in 4 just gets outmassed here. I don't know if that one just barely ends up in this heavyweight class. He just doesn't look like he fits from a skeletal width and muscle standpoint. Love how tall fronted he is, love his length and extension. He just runs out of gas. He gets a little steep right at his hip and a little hook here in his back leg. The one that comes in 5, I think for me, he's starting to mature just a bit too. He's getting longer shouldered and deeper chested. But I really did appreciate this one from the added shape and dimension that he brought up high. A nice class to end today. Congratulations.
There is truly no place like home. Right here in Eastern Oklahoma, Bravado Wireless provides the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month. We believe in strong, connected communities. That's why we live stream community events like local football games. You may not know us by name, but we'll be at the same festivals and cheering for our kids on the same sidelines. Because we live where you live. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
First 14th place, Ashton Dirduff from Keys. 13th from Woodall, 4H, Emmy Foreman. 12th place, Woodall, 4H, Madison Hood. 11th place, Kaylee Johnston, Muskogee FFA. 10th place, Sallisaw FFA, Sonny Pitts. 9th place, from the Wagner FFA, Aiden Murray. 8th place, Wagner FFA, Emily Morris. 7th place, Fort Gibson FFA, Wade Moore. 6th place, Woodall 4H, Madison Hood. 5th place, Tahlequah FFA, Colton Fort. 4th place, Fort Gibson FFA, Troy Moore. 3rd place, Wagner FFA, Reagan Folk. 2nd place, Fort Gibson FFA, Amanda Sadlick. And your winner, Class 9 Market Goats, Chloe Silka from the Pigs, 4H. Division 3, Classes 7 through 9. Division 3, Classes 7 through 9. 25 preliminary sale order in Division 3, 25 preliminary sale order in Division 3. Once again, we appreciate you being here this afternoon, pouring into the youth here in the Muskogee Regional Junior Livestock Show. If you're here, we're glad you're here. If you're here, the youth are even more glad that you're here. all Thaddeus Hutchins in the building tonight. The GOAT Guru who moved away from Fort Gibson. Class 7, Briley Owen, your winner. Class 8, Anna Hardy's your winner. Class 9 is Chloe Silka.
We got quite a few that aren't back there yet. So
All right.
call it
Hey.
That's the microphone for it.
Classes 7, 8, and 9 need to be in a warm-up area. Top 10.
A real nice set of heavies that we have out here in this champion drive. Let's give all these kids a nice round of applause for getting back out there. Now we probably start to run into some maturity issues within the classes here, and so I think we've got the ones that are the most youthful that sort of, those that are still best in terms of their skeletal build and all those priorities that I've kind of laid out throughout the day. I think for me, the ones out of the first class, the one that wins is the one that maintained himself just more ideal in terms of his skeletal build down low and then matched it up high. Probably doesn't look like the boldest bodied one out here, but when you get your hands on him, one that you definitely appreciate out of the backside of his shoulder. He's wide and square, he's fresh back at his loin, still has some neat look to him when you step off to the side. The one that was second, maybe the stouter legged option there, and one that's maybe a little bit bigger ended. I think disappointingly though, the one that looked bolder rib didn't lay near as much out of the backside of his blade and kind of faded back to the edge of his loin just a bit. The one out of the middle class, really liked that one in terms of his stoutness down low. From there up, he just kind of matches it. I think he's one that's ultra square in his build. Get your hands on him. I think he becomes the one to beat just in terms of his handling quality out here on the front line. Love his squareness up high and down low. He still maintains some proportionality there from the side. The one that comes out there in second, I think may have been maybe the widest skeleton that we've got in here. I think he may be the boldest in his body. Probably doesn't touch with as much tone down the top side of his skeleton like some others in here. Maybe runs downhill and gets a little more mature about his head, but one that I still think has some utility. The goats that we just talked in the heaviest class, I think the one that won just in terms of his ability to stay youthful in his skeleton and youthful in terms of his touch. Maybe get him out here, he might be just a little more, he may look like the most mature, what you'd expect with the added weight. He's one that may be just a little over full today in his bottom line, but one that I still think can hold his own out here. The one that comes in second is just a little frailer featured there, but one that still kind of matched the youthful handle of the winner. Maybe comes just in a few more pieces out of his front skeleton there. I think there's one out here that probably just hits me the hardest. The decision for reserve gets a little tougher. I'll go out and get you a champion, we'll get you a sailor, and we'll get the show on the road.
Now the Class 8, Anna Hardy will be your first selection. Preliminary sale order. Cooper Harmon moves into the lineup. Anna Gonzalez, third place, Class 8, into the ring. We will select 25, preliminary sale order, 25, preliminary sale order here in your Market Goat Show. 25, preliminary sale order. Your second selection, Briley Owen, out of Class 7. Avery White moves in. Anna Hardy gets in the lineup.
Anna Hardy will scratch.
Okay, that's right. Anna Hardy's a scratch, so Austin Matthews is in the ring. We will select 25, preliminary sale order here. Avery White will be your third selection, preliminary sale order. Austin Matthews moves in. Caitlin Wilson, fifth place out of Class 7 in the ring. This will be selection number 4. Out of Class number 8, Cooper Harmon will be selection 4. Alana Gonzalez moves up. Chloe Silka, fourth place, Class 8. Chloe Silka, fourth place, Class 8. This will be the 5th overall selection, preliminary sale order, Division 3. Once again, thank you to all of our great sponsors. Your 5th selection, Chloe Silka. Going to move to Amanda Seidlich. We'll move into the lineup. Reagan Falk, Third place, Class 9 in the ring. This will be selection number 6 out of Class 8. Alana Gonzalez will be selection 6. Chloe Silka is already selected, so Rhett Butler should be in the lineup. London Clausen will be in the ring. Selection number 7, Austin Matthews. Caitlin Wilson in the lineup. This will be selection number 8. Wade Moore will be in the ring. Okay, out of Class 8, Rhett Butler will be your 8th selection. Landon Clausen is in the lineup. We need Carson Atwood, 7th place out of Class 8. 7th place, Class 8. Carson Atwood, you need to be in the ring at this time. Carson Atwood, 7th place, Class 8. If you'd like to be considered for preliminary sale order, we're already 8 deep in Class 8. You need to have your goats in the holding area. This will be the 9th selection out of Class 8. Landon Clausen is the 9th selection. Carson Atwood, 7th place, Class 8. Eufaula FFA, Carson Atwood, 7th place, Eufaula FFA. Followed by Colton Fort, 8th place, Tahlequah FFA, Class 8. We need Class 8, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th if you'd like to be considered for preliminary sale order. Class 8, places 7, 8, 9, and 10. Reach out, get them, and bring them on. Carson Atwood, Eufaula FFA. Carson Atwood, 7th place, Eufaula FFA out of Class 8. Colton Fort in the ring. We'll need Carson Atwood for the lineup. This will be the 10th selection. We will select 25, preliminary sale order, Division 3. 25, preliminary sale order, Division 3. After we select your preliminary sale order, Division 3, the boss man said we're going to take about a 10-minute break before we select your champions and your sale order. They said we're going to take about a 10-minute break after we select your preliminary sale order Division 3. They said we'll take about a 10-minute break. Carson Atwood, 7th place, Eufaula FFA in the lineup. Pots right, rings ready, selection 10. Out of the Class 9, Amanda Seidlich will be the 10th selection. Reagan Folk in the lineup. Troy Moore behind her. Your 11th selection will be Reagan Folk. Troy Moore moves up. Colt Fort out of Class 7 is going to be the 12th selection. Caitlin Wilson. Wade Moore in the lineup. Reagan Greathouse in the ring. Selection 13 of 25. Potts right. Out of Class 8, Carson Atwood will be your 13th selection. Colton Fort, Tahlequah FFA. Colton Fort, Reagan Folk in the ring. Reagan Folk in the ring. Out of Class 7 will be the 14th selection will be Wade Moore. Reagan Greathouse in the lineup. Along with Colton Fort. The 15th selection, Troy Moore for preliminary sale order. Colton Fort moves up. Madison Hood, we need you in the ring as well. Madison Hood out of Class 9. Reagan Folk out of Class 8. Amanda Seidlich out of Class 7. Your 16th selection will be Colton Fort out of Class 9. The 16th selection. 17th selection. Okay. Reagan Greathouse is the 17th selection. Okay. Amanda Seidlich in the lineup. Colton Fort in the lineup. And Madison Hood in the lineup.
Colton Fort.
Okay. So this is Reagan Folk. Okay. That will be the 18th selection. Will be Reagan Folk. So we should need. That is all of Class 8. We're on the 19th selection. Okay. So Reagan already had one in the lineup. Okay, that's no problem. So we're going to pick over 18 over again. So the 18th selection will be Amanda Seidlich out of Class 7. Hang on. Okay. The 18th selection went to Alex Parker. The 19th selection went to Madison Hood. The 20th selection, Elizabeth Haggard. So 21 down, we'll go in order. 21 will be Wade Moore. Nope, hang on. We'll get that lined out. '21 was Emily Morris. 22 is Aiden Murray. 23 is Sonny Pitts. 24 should be Kaylee Johnston, and 25 should be Madison Hood, if they do not have goats in already. So 24 should be Kaylee Johnston, and 25 should be Madison Hood. Okay, goat exhibitors, if you have more than one lanyard, that lanyard needs to stay with the goat, not the exhibitor. That make sense? Okay.
The boldest.
Bravado Wireless. Experience the power of connection.
This broadcast is a copyright of Bravado Wireless. This game and broadcast should not be reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed without the express written consent of Bravado Wireless and its management.
There is truly no place like home. Right here in Eastern Oklahoma, Bravado Wireless provides the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month. We believe in strong, connected communities. That's why we live stream community events like local football games. You may not know us by name, but we'll be at the same festivals and cheering for our kids on the same sidelines. Because we live where you live. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
At Bravado Wireless, we don't believe in wasting your time or ours. Our mission is to serve you with honesty and integrity. That's why we offer upfront competitive pricing with no hidden fees in our plans. For $40 a month, you get unlimited talk, text, and data with nationwide coverage. No data caps and no restrictions. No matter if it's your first, second, or third line, you only pay $40 per month per line. All of that with coverage on America's best network. We're your local service provider. Come get to know us. Go bold, go Bravado.
My love, I can give you the world.
Oh, darling, but my heart most desires unlimited wireless home internet.
Oh, dear.
And a new router for just $99.
You ask too much. There's only one who can give you that.
Bravado.
Switch to Bravado's unlimited home internet plan for $59.99 a month and get a new router for just $99 too. See store for details. Find locations at bravadowireless.com/boldmove.
I switched today.
Oh, darling, so bold.
Bravado Wireless. Experience the power of connection.
You are called to be bold. You have a right to the best wireless service, high-speed internet, and customer service at a price you can feel good about. At Bravado Wireless, we know this, and that's why we put you and your community first. We are owned and operated right here in Eastern Oklahoma. We live where you live. We proudly connect you to your family, friends, and business partners wherever they are. Dallas, Seattle, Taipei, Toronto, and anywhere else in the world. We are Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
Stick around because we're cooking wild.
We were there when your grandparents made their first telephone call. We were there when your parents were able to choose what to watch on cable. And now, we are here for you, providing high-speed internet service to your family. There is one thing we know for sure. No matter what happens next, Cross is here to keep you connected. Cross, serving families like yours, today and tomorrow.
Big wireless companies keep getting bigger and bigger, but their coverage where you live is still small. At Bravado Wireless, we provide the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month, right here in Eastern Oklahoma. You deserve to connect fast to your family, friends, and colleagues, wherever they are, with no interruptions and no excuses. Don't buy into big. Go bold. Go Bravado. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection. Other wireless companies need 4-page brochures to explain plans that are too complicated and cost way too much. We are not like the others. We are Bravado Wireless. We offer one line of unlimited talk, text, and 4G LTE data for only $40 per month, with no minimum number of lines and no hidden fees. This is your year to be bold, connect fast at the best price. We live where you live, and we are proud to be a part of your community here in Eastern Oklahoma. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.
Hey there, have you heard? Bravado has deals for days.
You mean like a free smartphone?
Why, yeah.
With unlimited talk, text, and data for just $40 a month?
You're darn tootin'.
Then why the blazes are we talking on these?
Make the switch to Bravado today and fall in love with a brand new free smartphone. See store for details. Find locations at bravadowireless.com/boldmove.
Baby, you're the boldest.
Bravado Wireless. Experience the power of connection.
This broadcast is a copyright of Bravado Wireless. This game and broadcast should not be reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed without the express written consent of Bravado Wireless and its management.
There is truly no place like home. Right here in Eastern Oklahoma, Bravado Wireless provides the best. Sidelines, because we live where you live. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
At Bravado Wireless, we don't believe in wasting your time or ours. Our mission is to serve you with honesty and integrity. That's why we offer upfront competitive pricing with no hidden fees in our plans. For $40 a month, you get unlimited talk, text, and data with nationwide coverage. No data caps and no restrictions. No matter if it's your first, second, or third line, you only pay $40 per month per line. All of that with coverage on America's best network. We're your local service provider. Come get to know us. Go bold, go Bravado.
My love, I can give you the world.
Oh, darling, but my heart most desires unlimited wireless home internet.
Oh, dear.
And a new router for just $99.
You ask too much. There's only one who can give you that.
Bravado.
Switch to Bravado's unlimited home internet plan for $59.99 a month and get a new router for just $99 too. See store for details. Find locations at bravadowireless.com/boldmove.
I switched today.
Oh, darling, so bold.
Bravado Wireless. Experience the power of connection.
You are called to be bold. You have a right to the best wireless service, high-speed internet, and customer service at a price you can feel good about. At Bravado Wireless, we know this, and that's why we put you and your community first. We are owned and operated right here in Eastern Oklahoma. We live where you live. We proudly connect you to your family, friends, and business partners wherever they are. Dallas, Seattle, Taipei, Toronto, and anywhere else in the world. We are Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
Stick around because we're cooking wild.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet your reserve division winners. Your Division 1 second place from the Fort Gibson 4-H. Let's hear it for Tinley Moore. Your second place winner out of Division 2 from the Fort Gibson 4-H. How about it, Avery White? Second place, Division 3 from the Morris FFA, Riley Owen. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to meet your division winners in your Market Goat Show. Division 1 from the Shakota 4-H, Jade McPeak. Your Division 2 winner from the Fort Gibson FFA, Megan Greathouse. Ladies and gentlemen, rounding out your Division 3 lineup from the Fort Gibson FFA, Anna Hardy. So, ladies and gentlemen, this time I'd like to introduce your judge, Mr. Cade Hoffman from Garden City, Texas. If you would, put your hands together for an outstanding job here today. Evaluate our goat division.
Well, what a wonderful day it's been. I've had so much fun today getting to work with these great kids that you've got here in the state of Oklahoma. I've got to see some incredible livestock, and that's always fun. I'm to the point now, I love to take shows and judge places that I haven't been before and places that I haven't seen. And you guys really brought the quality here and made me realize why I still love this game. It's fun to get to travel all over. See what you guys have brought to the table, and I sure think that here in the coming couple of weeks, I know you guys have some big things going on here in the state of Oklahoma, and I think that your region here will be well represented. So let's give all of you a round of applause for bringing some quality livestock and some great kids here today. I've always appreciated, just the added annex and things that we get to do here in Oklahoma. I think your grand drives are top notch. I wish we got to do cool things like this in Texas. I really do. You put so much of it in it for the kids. Y'all are doing it all for the right reasons and make these kids feel special, and they certainly deserve it. I know that there's so much work and things that go into it behind the scenes, especially for you parents and things like that. So I give you great credit for that. I'm at a point here in my life. I've got a young daughter and a little boy. He's just 10 months old, but my little girl, she's getting about the age where we can show, and it just brings me great excitement to get to enter this ring. And I say it every time, I don't envy any of you parents standing on the outside of the ring. You kids think you have it rough. Your parents have it way rougher. There is nothing like standing on the outside and having to watch your kid and have zero control over what goes on in there. So I'm glad for you parents. I'm glad that you've chosen to involve your kids in the greatest youth activity there is in the world. This is a sport. It really is, and it teaches you so many of those great things that you just take with you forever. I kind of touched on this. I judged the show a few weeks ago, and I kind of echoed this same remark. One of my great friends, Will Winter, did the Hogs show at Denver back in January. And his message at the end of the day, I'm sure it's kind of been a viral sensation on Facebook. There's even a clothing line behind it now. But the Be Nice movement, that's a thing. It doesn't cost anything to be nice. And we need to promote that. That's what this sport's about, is raising these kids and raising humans to be the best that they can be. And I tie that back into the tragic passing of Kobe Bryant. I like to think about that. I think celebrities are just people, just like we are. They're very normal. They just have a bigger platform to stand on. I watched a lot of the interviews with friends and family and coaches and teammates after his passing. And that guy was one of the most incredible people that ever played basketball. He absolutely was. More talent in his pinky finger than the majority of us have. But all the people that knew him, never talked about how good he was at basketball. They talked about the kind of person that he was. And so to echo what Will Winter said and to echo the friends of Kobe Bryant, you know, and I've heard this great quote, people may never remember your accomplishments. 10 years from now, we may never remember who won the show, but people will always remember how you made them feel. So always do your best to be kind and be nice to everybody around you, and just treat those others with respect and the way you want to be treated. I think that's the greatest accomplishment we can have as a human, is to be remembered by our character. So I encourage each of you as you go today to try to live your life by that motto, and like Will said, just be nice. And now I'll kind of talk to you about the livestock. Like I said, it's been so fun. It's been a great set through the doe show and the weathers. I'm the one out of the lightest class. I think just from a muscle shape and dimension standpoint, he's got to be out here. I love the added stoutness of foot and bone he has. Love the added extension that he offers. Maybe a little much more green and immature out here in this particular lineup, but I still think he really stands out and is more than deserving to be out here. The one that comes in second, love the freshness that this guy offers, especially through his center body. Love his skin and hair. I think that one's extremely highly presented. Maybe not the added cushion that one needs in his rear skeleton for me, but I think a really nice representative of Division I. The ones out of the middle class, I thought that these two really stood out, and kind of for totally different reasons. I think just the basic build and balance and stoutness that the one that wins offers is just really out there. Really love his touch up top. He's ultra fresh. Maybe like to trim him up in his middle just a little bit for my own personal preference, just to be that really out there one. But I think that one just puts a lot of the basics together and checks lots of boxes for me. The one that I used to be reserved there is just one of the biggest back ones I've ever laid my hands on, and I usually don't get wrapped up in things like that. That's not my speed. That's not what I'm after, but that one is just so impressive it's hard not to talk about. I think from his hip forward, he balances up extremely well. I'd probably like to pick him up in his tail head just a bit, maybe give him a notch more flex off his rear tube, but I think that one's dang sure in contention in here and one that you should be certainly proud of. The heavier weight ones here, I think we found a pair of them that just put a lot of good together in terms of their youthfulness. In a division where maturity became quite the issue, these two certainly don't show any signs of it. The one that I used to win, I think, is just kind of the stouter option, the one that's really square and genuine in his skeleton. Probably one that offers a notch more back shape. You step right in behind him, I think he's a little stouter. The kind of taller, funner, cooler looking one's right behind him. He profiles with extra extension, super sound in the way that he covers the ring. Maybe like to blow him out in his pin set, make him a little more dimensional from right in behind him, but one that I certainly like quite a bit. I think there's a pair of them out here that just hit me a little harder than the rest. I'm going to give them one more look. I'll grab your champion in reserve. Thanks for having me out. The ring crew was great today. You're probably the most underappreciated people at a show, but I certainly would like to point you out for a job well done. Thanks for having me back, and good luck in Hawaii.
Blood, sweat, and tears are running down our skin. We came to battle, came to fight. Yeah, we came to win. Wings up and make it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, your grand champion, goat exhibitor from the Fort Gibson FFA, Megan Greathouse. Avery White's in the lineup for your selection of reserve grand champion. Avery White will be your reserve grand champion. We're going to move Megan Greathouse's Division II third place into the lineup for selection of your bronze champion. When you're selected, you have to stay in the show ring. When you're selected, you have to stay in the show ring.
There's no time to waste. Gotta hustle, flex some muscle, leaving dirt in their face. Feels like we're taking the crown. It feels like
Ladies and gentlemen, Megan Greathouse will have your bronze selection as well. Trista Moore moves in. Reagan Greathouse, we need you into the ring. 25 to the sale with 10 alternates. 25 to the sale with 10 alternates. Anna Hardy will be your 4th overall selection for sale order Saturday night at the premium sale starting at 6 o'clock. Briley Owen moves up. Avery White has been selected. Cooper Harmon, we need you in. Cooper Harmon out of Division 3. Briley Owen will be your 5th selection. Briley Owen is a 5th selection. Cooper Harmon is all the way on the front row. Chloe Silka, come on in. Lineup's right, sir. This will be the 6th selection for your preliminary, or sorry, 6th selection for your sale order on Saturday night. 6th selection, Jade McPeak will be your 6th selection. Tinley Moore moves in. Carson Atwood comes in. This will be the 7th selection for your 2020 Muskogee Regional Junior Livestock Show Premium Auction. Congratulations to Tinley Moore. She will be your 7th selection. Carson Atwood is in the lineup. Ryan Murphy is in the ring. This will be the 8th selection for your sale order. Congratulations, Cooper Harmon. You'll be the 8th selection for sale order. Chloe Silka moves in. Alana Gonzalez comes in. Come on in and join the fun. We're selecting sale order. Congratulations, Trista Moore. She will be your 9th selection. Reagan Greathouse is in. Chloe Silka in the lineup as well. Chloe Silka, this is where it's fixed. Carson Atwood will be your 10th selection. Carson Atwood is a 10th selection. Ryan Murphy is in. Carly Dismukes is in the ring. Lineup is still correct. This will be the 11th selection. Select 25 for the sale with 10 alternates. 25 for the sale with 10 alternates. Selection, Chloe Silka will be the 11th selection. Chloe Silka, Alana Gonzalez in the lineup now. Alana Gonzalez is in the lineup for Austin Matthews. Okay, Ryan Murphy will be the 12th selection. Ryan Murphy. Carly Dismukes is in the lineup. Alana Gonzalez is the 13th selection. Austin Matthews is in the lineup. Carly Dismukes, Reagan Greathouse, and Austin Matthews are on the front line. Brett Butler, Riley Craig, and Caitlin Wilson are on the second lineup. Reagan Greathouse will be your 14th selection. Reagan Greathouse is the 14th selection. Caitlin Wilson is your 15th selection out of Division 2. The 15th selection is Caitlin Wilson. Anna Hardy is in the lineup. Anna Hardy's already in. Nathan Rowan is in the lineup. Austin Matthews is out behind that. Austin Matthews just got selected for the 16th selection. Austin Matthews is the 16th selection. So that means Landon Clausen is in the ring. Carly Dismukes is selected with the 17th selection. We should have in Division 1 should be Briley Gregg. In Division 2 should be Nathan Rowan. And in Division 3, Rhett Butler. Okay. Rhett Butler will be your 18th selection. Rhett Butler is the 18th selection. Landon Clausen. Nathan Rowan will be the 19th selection. Nathan Rowan is the 19th selection. Austin Matthews is out. Isabella Odell is out. Landon Clausen. Landon Clausen is in the lineup for Division 3, and Landon Clausen is in the lineup for Division 2. Riley Gregg in Division 1. Landon Clausen in Division 2, and Landon Clausen in Division 3. Okay, congratulations to Briley Gregg. She will be the 20th selection in the sale order. Hope Berry is in the lineup. Landon Clausen is in the lineup, and Landon Clausen out of Division 3 has just been selected as the 21st selection. So that means we need Madison Gashes from Shakota in Division 2, okay? And we need Amanda Seidlich in Division 3. Lineup is correct. This will be the 22nd selection. Hope Berry is the 22nd selection. Cash Greiner should be in Division 1. Okay? Madison Gashes in Division 2. Amanda Seidlich in Division 3 and Cash Greiner in Division 1. The lineup is correct. This will be selection number 23, Mr. Cash Greiner. Avery Knight in Division 1. Madison Gashes in Division 2 and Amanda Seidlich in Division 3. This will be the 24th selection. Congratulations to Amanda Seidlich. She is the 24th selection. Going to move to Reagan Folk in the lineup. This will be the 25th selection for your sale order on Saturday night. The premium sale out of Division 1 is going to be Avery Knight. That is the 25th selection. They're now selecting alternates. Clayton Wallace is in the lineup, along with Madison Gashes and Reagan Folk. First alternate selection. Sir? First alternate will be Madison Gashes. Cody Townsend in the lineup. Madison Gashes was the first alternate. Clayton Wallace will be your second alternate. Clayton Wallace. Shayla Dismukes is in the lineup. Cody Townsend is in the lineup. Reagan Folk is in the lineup. This will be your third alternate selection, and it goes to Shayla Dismukes. That is your third alternate. Nathan Rowan from Hobart. Nathan Rowan. Nathan Rowan in Division 1. Okay. So your fourth alternate is Reagan Folk out of Division 3. Your fourth alternate, Reagan Folk. Caitlin Wilson. Okay, Caitlin Wilson is out. Carson Atwood out of Division 3. Carson Atwood is out. Wade Moore is in the lineup. Congratulations, Wade Moore. He will be your fifth alternate. Troy Moore. Lineup is correct. This will be your sixth alternate selection. Congratulations. Cody Townsend will be your sixth alternate. Keely Holiday is in the lineup. This will be your seventh alternate of 10. 4 more to go, sir. Keely Holiday will be your seventh alternate selection. Ryan Long in the lineup. This will be for the 8th alternate selection. 3 more selected here tonight. Ryan Long will be your 8th alternate. Ryan Long is the 8th alternate. Troy Moore, and Kaylee Boydston. Kaylee Boydston, Troy Moore, and Troy Moore. This will be the 9th alternate selection, and it will go to Troy Moore out of Division 3. Troy Moore out of Division 3. So that means we also need to pull Troy Moore's lamb out of Division, or goat out of Division 2. Riley Townsend in the lineup, along with Colton Fort and Kaylee Boydston. 10th and final alternate selection here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Going to Colton Fort. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would give all of your market goat exhibitors a great big round of applause. We appreciate each and every one of you, but more importantly, we need all the lanyards back. We need all the lanyards back. If you've got a lanyard around your neck or your goat's neck, we need all the lanyards back. I'd like to say a great big thank you to all of our volunteers here this afternoon and this evening, making this show a great big success. We appreciate each and every one of you. Most of all, we couldn't do it without all of our great sponsors. St. Francis Hospitals of Muskogee, your title sponsor here today at the 2020. A great big thank you to Bravado Wireless for all of their live feed going on. Watch that part of the day today, and they had a great shop going on. So we appreciate each and every one of them.
/bold move. I switched today.
There is truly no place like home. Right here in Eastern Oklahoma, Bravado Wireless provides the best unlimited talk, text, and data for only $40 a month. We believe in strong, connected communities. That's why we live stream community events like local football games. You may not know us by name, but we'll be at the same festivals and cheering for our kids on the same sidelines, because we live where you live. Visit bravadowireless.com or visit one of our stores, where we make it easy to join our family. Bravado Wireless. We believe in the power of connection.
This broadcast is a copyright of Bravado Wireless. This game and broadcast should not be reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed without the express written consent of Bravado Wireless and its management.